I used to believe dealerships were the only option when you lose a car key, and I paid the price. $260 gone in an instant. But when it happened again, I decided I wasn't making that mistake twice. I discovered a DIY method that not only saved me hundreds, but gave me the confidence to never depend on a dealer again. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Would you believe that losing one car key could easily set you back more money than someone else spends on their monthly rent? It sounds exaggerated, but for modern car owners, it has become a frustrating and very real expense. The reason isn't just bad luck, it's the way keys themselves have changed. Decades ago, a car key was little more than a piece of shaped metal. If you misplaced one, you could walk into nearly any hardware store, pay $5, and walk out with a working spare in minutes. Today, though, the keys sitting in your pocket are loaded with electronics, from transponders that broadcast coded signals to security chips linked directly to your car's immobilizer system. What used to be a sliver of metal is now a small computer in disguise, and that shift is costing drivers hundreds of dollars every time a key disappears. Think about the price difference. A quick key copy once cost about the same as an afternoon coffee run. Now, for many popular models, you're looking at $2, $3, even $500 at a dealership just to replace one. That's a bill closer to a car payment than a key replacement. Imagine misplacing a single Toyota Tacoma key and hearing the service advisor tell you the charge will be $260 before tax. No damaged locks, no complicated repair, just the simple fact that one key went missing. Stories like this leave drivers stunned because the number feels so out of proportion with the tiny item in their hands. So why are these dealerships so confident in asking for that kind of money? They'll explain that the cost comes down to specialized machinery, manufacturer coding, and their exclusive access to systems that recognize the transponder embedded in your key. Some vehicles require proprietary software to marry the new key with the onboard computer, and the dealership staff are trained to complete the process. What they don't always emphasize is how this setup effectively leaves you without another choice. If you want a factory-certified replacement immediately, the dealer controls the process and the price tag. When you look at the broader numbers, the cost burden adds up quickly. By some estimates, millions of drivers misplace their keys every single year, which means they're pouring billions collectively into replacements. Even when people try to avoid the dealership and turn to local locksmiths, the savings are modest at best. Depending on the make and model, a locksmith might ask $100 to $250 for a single programmed key because they still need costly equipment, databases, and sometimes even codes purchased from manufacturers. That so-called cheaper option still eats into your savings for something as small as a key. And here's where the real frustration sets in. None of this reflects the actual material value of the key itself. The shell casing, the chip inside, even the tiny circuit board, they're inexpensive components when sold separately. What you're primarily paying for is the gatekeeping around the process, the illusion that you're stuck between the dealer and the locksmith with no wiggle room. A single lapse in memory, one key lost on a busy morning, suddenly traps you into spending hundreds of dollars you never planned for. That's why so many drivers describe feeling powerless in these situations. It isn't just about losing money. It's about a lack of choice. The manufacturers and dealers built a system where convenience and control come at a steep price, and ordinary drivers are the ones covering the bill. But what if there was a way to tilt that balance? What if everyday car owners could take back control with something small, inexpensive, and surprisingly easy to use? That's exactly what more and more people are discovering, and it starts with a simple device that's changing how drivers think about replacement keys. Imagine spending less than the cost of a casual dinner for two and walking away with a brand new working car key. That's a huge difference from the hundreds of dollars most people have grown used to paying at the dealership. The best part? You don't need insider training or secret access to get it done. Drivers are finding that with a blank key ordered online and the right handheld tool, they can take control of the process themselves and cut the cost down to a fraction. Here's how it works in practice. Instead of scheduling an appointment at the dealer, you start with the key itself. For many cars, you can go online and order a blank or universal key for under $40. These blanks often come uncut, allowing you to have the metal portion shaped locally at a small hardware shop or locksmith for a few dollars. The real magic comes once the blank is cut, pairing its electronic transponder with your vehicle's computer. This is where a programming device steps in, taking the place of the dealer's expensive equipment. Most people assume this step is off limits, but modern programming devices make the process surprisingly straightforward. Take the Autel Programmer, for example. After plugging it into your car's OBD port, the same connection mechanics used to run diagnostics, it syncs directly with the onboard computer. From there, the screen guides you through a series of menus where you select your car's exact make, model, and year. The device then walks you through the key programming sequence. No advanced codes needed, no passwords pulled from the manufacturer, just a guided process that ends with the key successfully registered to your car. Of course, before you rush to order a blank, there's an important detail to check: the transponder type. Not every car uses the same technology, and compatibility depends on your manufacturer and year. A Honda Civic from 2012 may require a different chip than a 2018 Ford Fusion. That's why it pays to consult your car's manual or look up verified parts lists online to make sure you're buying the right component. Ordering the wrong type might leave you with a key that fits in the ignition but isn't recognized electronically by the car. Taking that 5 minutes to confirm the correct chip saves you the headache of a useless spare. Once that detail is sorted, the process feels refreshingly logical. Insert the old working key, follow the device prompts as it communicates with your vehicle, then swap to the new blank. Within minutes, the tool confirms success, and you can turn the ignition to test it yourself. The moment the engine starts is the proof. You've just programmed a fully functional key on your own. No tow truck, no waiting in line, and no inflated dealer invoice. Even major brands are compatible. Reports show that many common manufacturers, including Toyota, Ford, and Honda, can be paired with these accessible tools. That means this isn't some niche trick limited to obscure vehicles. It applies to models on roads everywhere. And as demand rises, services are forming to help even more drivers tap into the savings. One example is companies that ship these devices to you temporarily, allowing you to borrow the equipment without needing to purchase it outright. For a fraction of dealer pricing, you handle the job yourself and then mail the tool back. Put into real numbers, the savings are stark. A driver who once swallowed a $260 dealer charge for a replacement now spends under $70 total, including both the blank key and the use of a programming device. That's more than cutting the bill in half, and it delivers something even greater than savings: confidence. Before letting a service department mark up your problem, explore the DIY route. It's simple, affordable, and effective. And here's the interesting part. This device is only one example of the cheap car tech hacks available. Stick around, because there are more secrets waiting that can save you thousands.